Hey, so in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about how you should stop trying to do things really, really fast. You should stop trying to make things fast. You should stop trying to learn fast. Just stop trying to go super, super fast. So, I have to say first, this isn't an excuse for you to kind of just move like a snail in molasses and do things really, really slow. You can do things sometimes fast and sometimes slow, but overall, you shouldn't always be fast and you shouldn't always be slow. That's what we're getting at. So, you know, you don't have to move really, really slow. Regardless, let's start with an example per se. We're going to do a little activity, actually. That's more of what it is. Not an example, an activity. So, for context, you and me, let's start with something that takes a long time. Let's picture ourselves really, really skinny or really, really fat. And we want to, or picture your dream body too. Two separate things. So, we want to get to our dream body. We want to get there. We all do. But keep it in mind. And now think about level 0, which is I'm really, really skinny or I'm really, really fat. Pick one or the other. It doesn't really matter, but, just pick one. So think about how long it would take for you to get from level 0 to the 100, which is your dream body. Just give it a little think. Don't be too particular. You and I are both going to come to the same conclusion that this will likely take months or years. Months or years, which is a long, long time. This really is. And what we're also going to come to the same conclusion on is I wish, and you wish too, that we could both take those months and years and cut them in half. If it was 6 months, we wish it could be 3 or less. If it's a year, we wish it could be 6 months or less. And these are not unreasonable things. But the human mind wants this. I'm not going to try and pretend like everything I do, I never once come across this thought. I always come across it. And it comes with things. This is always going to happen to you. You're not wrong for thinking it. So we both come to those two conclusions. That's right off the bat. But why is it so bad? Because, most of the time we think, if I can cut everything in half and I can save time, do the work, but extra fast, that's better, right? Usually that sounds so much better on paper, doesn't it? And don't get me wrong, it really does. If you could get everything done twice as fast as it should be with perfect quality, then perfect. I mean, that's great. Who would not want that? But what I just said there, with perfect quality, is what we're mainly focusing on. Because, let's think about it. At the cost of something, or at the very minimum of our situation here, we're trying to split the time, right? So there's always going to be something we're going to cut down and a cost that comes with that. So let's just think about like the bare minimum cost, is what I'm saying. When we cut the time in half, what is the cost? Always quality. Always. We always see this with quantity, quality. More quantity, less quality. More quality, less quantity. We see it. Every time we raise something, it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost every single time. You cannot have 100% everywhere. You need to accept it. You cannot have 100% in every single way. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. So, for working out, we're going to say the time spent there, we cut it right down in half. But what about the quality? What happens to that? So, the quality itself also gets cut in half, if not worse. But what does that mean? It means that you'll do stupid things. You'll injure yourself. You'll make less progress. You won't give yourself enough time to heal. Leads back into injuries and less progress. And then fatigue and all that. And you'll also see no gains, no results, none of that. And that also will diminish your confidence. It will diminish the hopes and dreams you have. And then you'll start to think this goal isn't even worth it. And then you'll throw it in the garbage. And then what? You don't work out. So that's already one thing. There's more things you could do. You could make stupid decisions, as I said, but that could be, not doing the exercises properly, eating injuries. You could eat like a pig. You could get diabetes or something, visceral fat, all that. You could do a ton of things. I don't need to list it with you, but you could do a ton of damage. You could do a ton. But that's all the quality. But look at what you did. 6 months in the gym is now 3 months, but look at the quality. You are not making nearly as much progress. You're giving yourself diabetes and bad fats. You're injuring yourself. Look at what it does. I want to break apart here for a second, too, to say the reason I'm talking about this with you today is I injured my back like 2 months ago, and it's still injured. It's still to a degree where I can't work out. Like I can, but it's more selective stuff. I can't do what I used to. And that's odd for a 16-year-old to say, right? Because it's not often that you hear that we do that to our backs. But I had heavy muscle imbalance. My whole left side is stronger than my right side. So my right back, the bottom right portion of my back has to make up for the lack of strength in my right side, per se. At least I think that's how it was described. I'm not the doctor here, but that's pretty much how it goes if I remember correctly. The point is, I've had this, it's not permanent, but I've been dealing with it, and it takes time. And what this has done to me is it has pissed me off because I just can't do anything, man. I can do things. I'm not completely useless. But, I can't guarantee that I could run away from a serial killer. So You see my point? Nor could I fight him off. I can't guarantee that I could fight him off. So you see my point? It's like one of those cases where I would prefer that I was healed. And who wouldn't? But the point is, fixing my back takes time. And I'm getting sick of the amount of time it's taking. But the key is we need to accept that things like this will take time. I need to accept it. I had a call with my aunt earlier this morning, and it kind of sparked the reason for this video because I was talking to my aunt and about how, I'm getting sick of how long this is taking and I feel useless because I was helping them out with something the other day and it hurt my back more because I figured, I don't have to wait. I could be faster, right? It's not exactly faster, but I feel good enough now, even though I don't exactly feel 100%. And I know I maybe shouldn't do this, but I feel maybe good enough that maybe I should just do it anyway. And I help them with some physical stuff. I'm paying for it today. Stupid thing. I rushed into it. I was too fast. Look what I did. I got something in the moment, but I sacrificed things in the present that is now. That was stupid. I meant the future. Sacrifice things in the future, which is the present now. So, the point is, I'm paying for it today, and I was calling my aunt about it, and I said, I'm sick of how long this is taking, and I hate this. And she just gave me a talk again about how we cannot rush this, and look at what will happen if we do. My injury will last longer. Maybe it could be permanent. I'll do stupid stuff. I'll harm things, people. I could drop something on somebody because I figured, I'm strong enough to lift something because I think I am. And then I try, fail, drop it on them. I mean, I haven't done that yet, but it's an example. It's an example. Because I could do that. And I'm not in the mood to do that. But look at all that. Look at what I could do if I rushed in. And look at what I have done now that I have rushed in. I've injured my back more today from something I did 2 days ago. And now I'm in this condition, which was worse than I was 2 days ago. And it's not, that's not good. I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to explain that to you. It's not good. But the point is, that was like the ticker for why I wanted to make this video, because I had it in my mind before that we shouldn't rush into things, but this is the main thing. You cannot rush this stuff. You cannot. And this morning it was just the main ticker. Regardless, that's why we're talking about it. Let's get back to the reason, or the next stuff. So now that you know what can come of it, why you shouldn't rush it, because this is what will happen and this is how it will work out. I also want to talk to you about mistakes, because we will look at things that, like, it's not always about like working out and all that, but learning and creating things. You know, there's going to be mistakes and hardship and all that stuff. You're going to run into problems. But what we do is we think, what if I could just cut the problems out? And I'm not telling you to brute force problems if you can't cut them out. Like, if you can cut out problems and you choose not to, I'm not really going to support that. But I'm mostly talking about, you look at problems that you couldn't avoid and you think, this is a waste of time. You don't give it enough attention. It damages things further. And then maybe even you give up on your goal, and then where are you? That kind of thing. I'm not talking about, you know, if you could Google a solution to your problem and you could apply it, by all means. But if you run into a problem that you've tried looking up and you've tried doing this and that, and you figure, you know, this is just a waste of time, I'm just going to speed right past it and not give it any attention because I can't find a YouTube tutorial, don't be that way. Do not be that way. Rushing through things and rushing past mistakes is a problem. Is a super big problem. Because we have things like Google and YouTube and the tutorials on that to help us, right? But when we run into a problem and we try to speed right past it, you could come across a whole new list of problems compared to what I just said. What could happen? You could do something that will affect your future or your present. Let's say, for example, my back, I hurt it, right? Instead of going to the doctor, I just keep brute forcing it and waiting and waiting and waiting and thinking, you know, it'll fix itself. That is a problem that I'm trying to speed my way through in a way. It isn't exactly about speed, but you get what I mean. It's like going through it the wrong way, speeding past the right thing, ignoring it, not giving it the attention. That's what it mostly is about, this video. And so with my back, right, I don't go to the doctor, I don't fix it, and I just keep on keeping on without fixing it. This is a problem. This is a thing that I need to fix, a mistake. I need to get on it. But I just keep speeding by and thinking, no, it doesn't deserve my attention. It's a waste of time. Horrible, horrible mindset. The mistakes and the problems we face are the key. We cannot speed by them. What if you run into something while learning? Instead of speeding by it, give it time. Give it time and give it attention. You'll learn. You'll create something better. And you might even fail at it. If it's an unknown problem, you can fail. But if you didn't give it attention in the first place, what are you even doing? What are you even doing? So remember, you need to accept that things will take time and you'll run into problems. And then furthermore, you need to make sure that you give problems the time needed and you do not just speed right by. Do not try to be super, super fast. Make sure everything is okay. Make sure everything is fine. Please. I will say one thing too, one last thing. This doesn't mean, this whole video, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't do things that will make your life faster or easier. For working out, for example, if you could get like equipment or supplements to help you target muscles and grow muscles and speed up your process, by all means, that is wonderful. You should do that. If you could get a pull-up bar so that you won't have to go to your local park per se, and you could just instead do everything at your house, and that's more convenient for you, which is for me because, you know, it's like winter half of the year here in Canada, so I can't really just go down to the park every day. So if it's convenient for you, like it is for me, get the pull-up bar. It'll save you time, it'll make your life easier, and it'll make you faster. That is perfect. Get the supplements. Grow your muscles faster. Make it all better. But I'm talking about the things, yet again, where you go to the gym too much. You do too much volume. You work out your body way too far. You ignore injuries. You ignore the pain. You ignore, and you do more. And then look at where you get trying to accomplish things fast. You ignore all the problems and all the mistakes trying to get to this result, and then they catch up with you, but in abundance. That is what I'm talking about. Speed up your life conveniently, and if you can Google your problem, you can fix it. But if you cannot Google it, or you cannot safely execute a way to speed up your life or make it more convenient, you need to accept that it will take time, and you must be ready to actually spend that time and give it full attention. You must. Whether you're learning, whether you're exercising, whether you're doing anything, please give it the time needed. Double half doesn't work. You know the thing like with baking, double the heat half the time, doesn't work. It doesn't work. A whole different cake comes out the oven when you double half. A whole other cake. So please, give it the time needed. Take it properly. That's all I ask of you. It's the safest thing. No one gets hurt. I'm not saying there's zero risk involved. Depending on your situation, there will be risk here and there. But I'm saying that in this case, it's the safest because most of the time, nothing bad will happen. The cake comes out of the oven perfect. That's all you need. So please, just please, take the time needed and stop trying to do things fast. Unlike me, who's injured my back and prolongs it. So just stop. We're going to do this together, okay? You and me are both learning a thing today. So that's the challenge for today. The challenge for the two of us is we both need to apply this mindset on something that we haven't been doing. I'm going to start today with my back. And you should start today with just anything. Anything. Learning, exercise, cooking, as I said, with baking. Start with something that you know that you are learning way too fast or you're making way too fast. Start with that thing and try cutting it down comfortably back to the level it's supposed to be. What you would read in the manual if it had a manual. You know what I mean? So please, try it out just for a little bit. I hope this helps you a ton. Remember, stop trying to do things fast, within the reason. And that's all I have for you today. Take care, my friend.